Hello, welcome back. Just a very quick one today. The Mastiff 2, British Mastiff 2, and what I've done basically is painted and detailed the inside because it's all going to be put together, and once it's put together I won't be able to show you what I've done because it'll all be on the inside. Makes sense? So what I've done here is this, oh there we go, the seats and the fire extinguishers. I'm assuming that's an air conditioning unit because it's got the vents on the top, and these are situational monitors. They supplied from the cameras on the outside of the vehicle. So there's one at the back and there are two which go above the dashboard, above the windscreen at the front. So they would go in. Let me see if I can show you. I get a pair of tweezers, that might be an idea, eh? They would go in like that on the inside. Now I've not decided whether to put them in. They're optional. You can put them in that way, or you can put them in a folded up position there. And what I might do is put one folded up on the driver's side and the one on the co-driver, as they call it in the instructions, on their side, passenger side if you like. Bearing in mind that it's a left-hand drive wagon, but then again they're meant for use on mainly European and elsewhere roads. So that's the monitor on there and the two on there. The seat belts, the seats are simply, according to all the pictures I've seen of the real ones, they are actually this colour, sandy colour. Put a little bit of weathering on them, just a little bit of muck on them, simple as that, and they look alright, I think. Some very, very tiny transfers. You can see them on the won't even focus on them, on the fire extinguishers there. Now I don't mind putting tiny transfers on, but this kit's got a little bit of a problem. That's the dashboard. So the transfers for the dashboard, it's a nice idea, all the transfers there, which are all individual, which is nice if you can apply them. And normally, as you know, you get a big square and you just stick it on the dashboard and it doesn't look real at all. On the other hand, these, let me see if I can zoom it in a little bit. No, we're going the wrong way there. Yeah, there we go. So what I've done is I tried with these two dials there, that one and that one, to put the transfers in. And as I say, I don't mind small transfers, but the lip on the edge of the bezel, if you like, on the edge of the dials, means that it's difficult to get the transfer in. And what's even worse is the transfer is bigger than the actual hole that it's supposed to go into. So as soon as you try and put it in there, it crumples up and ends up as nothing. I was putting the transfers on through a magnifying glass anyway. I don't know if you can see my magnifying glass there. There he is. There's quite a big old magnifying glass, so you can tell how difficult it was by that. So what I decided to do was scrap them completely, and I put the two, I'm guessing one's a Speedo and one's a Taco, into it there, and then the rest I've painted on. I've actually got more painted on than they supplied, so I think it looks quite good. Let's go this way. Yeah, you can. It doesn't look too bad. Yeah, it won't focus on it because everything's so tiny on it, you know. But there you go. So that's where I'm at with those. A bit too far away now, aren't I? There we go. Right, so that's the dashboard, and that will glue or fasten onto the cab floor basically, the deck. Yep. And the steering column is on there, just painted black. You can't see much detail on it. Taking the floor, the floor of the wagon, the deck of the wagon on here, it comes with one ammunition box, this one. So I've made just a couple more to put in, 3 more to put on. The floor, I've weathered everything a little bit, as I say. You know, people tend to wipe the truck down, don't they? But the floor of these would get really quite mucky with sand. Somebody has asked me a couple of weeks ago, at the moment I can't find their name because I'm in the wrong room, but how I fix this stuff down, and you can see it's really fairly well fixed down. So what I use is I use these things, which are soft pastels. I keep them in these little jars that you can get off Amazon, eBay, wherever, and buy the soft pastels and crush them up. I've put a video somewhere about crushing them up. You can you find that easy enough on the channel. So if you buy a box of them, you get all sorts of colours. There's two boxes there. This is the one I use most of all. It's earth colours, and it's great for putting sand, soil on tyres, floors, stuff like this. Trouble is, it's water soluble, so if you just mix it with water, when it dries, it falls off. So what you got to do is about 10 to 2, so 10 water and 2 PVA wood glue, and mix it up, paint it onto the floor, then put your crushed up pastels, soft pastels, onto that. Then what I tend to do is, if the colour's not quite right, if I've not got the colour quite right, then mix a little bit of water, like a wash, with the colour of paint that you want that floor to go to. I've got to put a little bit more black on this just to darken these bright spots off, and put a coloured wash over the top. It does 2 things. One, it colours it, and the other is when the paint dries, it sets it as well. And as you can see, nothing comes off it. It's set. Done. Job's done. So that's how I do that. That might be a help to the person whose name I can't remember. I do apologise, but I will write to you and tell you to and suggest that you might want to have a look at this video, and that will hopefully will answer your question about how I fix it down. So that's that. I've done a little bit of detailing in. Looking at the real truck, there's not a lot of detail on it. Everything's painted what they call desert sand, the whole shebang. The seats and the sides go onto here like so, and 2 sides obviously. Now you can't put those on yet because there it goes. Okay, you can't put them on yet because my camera seems to be reversing what I'm trying to do. But anyway, that's beside the point. They have to be glued, fixed onto the inside of the hull, the cab, body, whatever you want to call it. I'd call it the hull really. So they have to be fixed in there like that, and then hopefully once you fix them in, they will, where's it gone? There it is. They will then, I've got to keep your fingers all over it, haven't I? Slide over the top of that deck. The deck in turn sits inside the bottom half of the hull like that. Yep. So that's why I've had to paint it all before I put it together. What the plan is now is this will be fixed in here, the dashboard fixed onto that, the sides with the seats fixed into the top half of the hull, and then the whole lot put together. Wish me luck. Whether it's going to work, how well it's going to work out, I've got absolutely no idea. Once I've got it all together, there's a couple of problems that I can see, not least of which is the windows. So what I intend to do is put masking tape on the inside, so mask the inside as individual windows, mask the inside of the turret at the top here, and mask the inside of those two openings in the top, those two hatches in the top. I think they're escape hatches. Somebody with a lot more knowledge than I could probably tell us. Please leave it in the comments if you do. But I would imagine that if that vehicle was to turn over, then, or the back doors get blown off, they would make escape hatches, one on each side, so it wouldn't matter which side, which way it rolled over, you would still be able to get out of it, because the doors don't open because the side armour covers them up like that, so you can't open that door. It's simple as that. And it looks as though they've got armoured glass on the windows, so you're not going to break it to get out. I used to haul for a glass company. In fact, it's where I met my wife. But I used to do the haulage for them, and we used to carry bulletproof glass, and it was 10 millimeters thick. It was a centimetre thick. It's sturdy stuff, and the testing facilities where they shoot things at it, and they shell a bit of glass off but bounce off, basically. Clever stuff. So they wouldn't be able to get out the front of it. Two steel hatches, one on each side, is an ideal way to get out if the back door was jammed for some reason. That's the top. So that's the plan, is I'm going to mask it from the inside, and then hopefully cut the masking on the outside and be able to peel it off on the inside. Wish me luck. It might work. I hope it does. So that's that. There's a couple of little bits of detailing on the turret there, but apart from that, there's not much in the shell there, at the upper half of the hull. You've seen all the detail in this. I've just painted the sides here because they will be visible. Oops. They will be visible at the side there. Yep. So that's what I've done. You can see where I've put a wash on. The tide marks from the wash. I'm not going to bother cleaning them off because they're never going to be seen again. That's about all there is. There's not a huge amount to go on there, I'm afraid. What I'll do now is I will put all of this together, and once I've got it all together, I will then make another video. Basically, I'll get it ready for paint again, and then we'll make another video and let you know how we get where we're getting up to. Any questions, any comments, please leave them in the comments boxes below, and it would be great if you could like and subscribe, and also share the video if you're that way inclined. And once again, thanks very much for watching, and I shall see you next time. Ta-da!